Yeah, yes. You gotta read between the lines.
It has to be followed by a wink
Don't
every
forget
time.
Craig, by the way.
Wink, wink. Oh, yes, thank you. I always fucking forget that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh.
Ah!
Oh, she broke it. She
Ah!
broke the veil. She broke the wishbone.
Oh, wait, I'm
I,
winking. Does that make it? I can't wink properly now.
I just had like a
It doesn't
visceral
matter if you wink.
reaction to that. You said you were gonna bring Craig in, and I went to do what I always do, and then it was like I can't do
Now
it.
recording.
Wait, here, you know what? Let me mute real quick.
Hi, Chris.
Go ahead. There it is. Unmuting. Okay.
Oh,
That's
strong
better.
None of those kids know sign language.
Just get it all out. All right, so this is session 31. Does anybody want to volunteer for recap for player inspiration, or do we want a DM recap?
That was me putting my hands on the keyboard. Do I?
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless anyone's gonna try to take it from me. But
I was
I'll
gonna
take a
speed
crack
run.
at it.
I'll speed run it,
Yeah.
don't worry. Wait, what?
No, let somebody else go. Come on.
Okay,
He
I
was
will.
taking such diligent notes.
No, don't say. I
Also
can't go
try to
now.
take it
I
from
can't
no
go
one.
All right,
Now I have
Godry, you're
this
up.
detail.
Can't take
Okay.
it back now.
I have to find. Okay. The party peruses the tower. I'm narrating it for this one because Gaji wasn't there for a lot of it. Awen, Contagious, and Jakos are being shown to the kitchen as they prepare for the feast, and the mood and atmosphere is more than lively, and Thrall is not only in a good mood, but almost in ecstatic mood, excitement in a way. And they are told of a name attending the event, Lady Sarva, a noble from Waterdeep. Her name sort of scatters some ripples in people's minds, where on the upper levels, Jin continues to sneak around but is caught by Shinra. Sorry about that. Uh, Rick and Gaudry, eventually, after Jin is caught down, are the last ones to join the party in the kitchen. And upon talking of the events and food, Gaudry develops a new wavelength to his speech pattern, worry, as he's concerned. Not only does he not have a mouth, he only has a compartment. They are then sent up to an unoccupied room to change and be dressed for the coming event. In sort of unseen by most, Awen has a candle in the window, and Contagious leaves the room, things being a bit amiss as he leaves. To which then Awen also leaves the room to get dressed. As we all reconvene in everyone's fabulous, glamorous outfits, the party is greeted by a woman named Sarah with golden locks and green eyes. They then are led to the feast, but as they're sort of entering, Awen and Contagious are greeted by a man named L, and wishes to speak with Contagious alone. He says boldly that he can speak in front of Awen as well, and L leads them downstairs to the solarium. L speaks to Contagious in hate or more of a venomous tone. There's trauma and remembrance, and he mocks him, speaking of his name as not as his own, and if his friends even know who he truly is. To which Awen answers, "We are well acquainted with Gideon." Gideon seems to have been hunted as a child, and Arisi, as L name drops, hunts and hasn't forgotten him. After a tense standstill, Contagious, or Gideon as we call him, leaving a deathly impression, L leaves the scene and Contagious and Awen return.
Very,
That's all.
very solid. Yes, I believe you got pretty much everything. Awen, is there anything that you want to add?
What just happened? Okay.
You good?
Good?
Yeah, I can hear. I just got to reroute.
No, I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So when we left off, Awen and her friend that she knew all about, Gideon, had just finished a tense exchange with Eleanor, and we're heading back upstairs for the feast. Rick, oh, go ahead.
Remind me really quickly, Andy, because I didn't have this in my notes. Before we like reconvene, didn't T just say something like, "Don't let them get me"? Is that right?
Take. Yeah, don't let them take me.
you. Okay. Okay. That's it.
You got this. I don't. You got this.
Full faith. Rick, you had discussed with Thurl the desire to perform during the feast. I know you had messaged me earlier. Were you able to come up with anything, or?
No, probably just, a list of songs. Some like
Okay.
stupid, NSYNC songs or something.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your performance check, please. And a lot of the feast is going to be theater of the mind. I was not able to find a map that worked for
There we
what
go.
it is that we needed. Okay, 27. Not bad at all. I'm going to share my screen with you guys on this one. I know a lot of times you guys don't listen to it, but this I think will be fun. So I'm gonna set the scene a bit for you guys, and then we'll get into it.
So I would like to know,
Uh-huh.
is there going to be like an accompanying band, or is it just like me?
It is just
On the
you.
lyre.
It is just
Really?
you.
Acapella.
Yes.
They didn't have anything planned?
They did not.
Okay, I'm going to be like foregoing food, and I'm just going to kind of like walk amongst the tables if there's enough room at this
Okay.
thing.
Absolutely. Preemptively, before I forget, I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
Oh, gosh.
What?
Oh. No. Oh my gosh, no.
Oh rip.
Oh my.
What is going on here?
Single digits.
We will come back to this.
Same number.
That's insane.
Let me make note of this and highlight it so that I can come back. Oh, do you know what this is for?
No idea.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't enjoy this as much as I am right now.
Oh, you know what? Screw that. Hold on. Oh wait, this doesn't apply to con saves. Never mind.
Oh, we're gonna do Bardic?
No, I was gonna do guidance, but that's fine.
Oh, okay. I mean, you can still do guidance. Unfortunately, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, the sun begins to dip below the rugged peaks of the Somber Hills, casting a golden fire across the rolling landscape. Twilight begins to spill over the land as torches are lit along the... You okay?
We're good.
Okay. As torches are lit along the walls within the Great Hall. Sorry, children. Give me just a moment.
How we feeling?
Nope. I shouldn't have come on tonight. I know it. I knew it. Freaking four
What?
fours, 3 4s in a row. Jeez. To be fair though, I don't think Rick has ever like saved on a con. You know, succeeded on a con save. So
No, you
So-
have. You have.
have I?
Yeah. Yeah, because you guys had to roll for exhaustion last session, or maybe it was the previous session.
True.
Oh, that's true.
Any that
That's
are
true.
flashback related.
Oh, that
That
was
might be.
not what I wanted. Hold on. I just went bardcore.
Not what JJ wanted
playlist.
either.
Sometimes in life,
Uh,
there's a lot to do.
my apologies. The
no.
children were being extra difficult right now.
It's alright.
As you guys have come out prior to you going down with Al, Contagious, and Awen, you see that the Great Hall is filled with close to 20 people. Most of them seem to be wearing the Feathergale Knight armor and attire. People from the kitchen are coming up and back down with plates of food, baskets of freshly baked hand rolls, decanters of wine. The fire in the hearth is glowing brightly and warmly, and it's a nice ambient background as Rick begins to play his lyre. Seated at the head of the table, you see Thurl, and to his right is a face you've not seen during your time here. And to his left is a woman. Let me share this picture with you guys.
Is there a map with the feast?
It's
area?
just the Great Hall, and most of this is going to be Theater of the Mind.
Okay.
But this is just to give you guys an idea of the bodies on there. Let me bring up this picture for you guys. Mark off Fantasy Grounds being slow.
Oh, are we doing bingos?
Well, if you are.
Tonight's too stressful for bingo.
I was gonna say, did we even get cards?
Not new ones.
The woman to Thurl's left is a beautiful woman in her early to mid 30s. Cascading down over her shoulders are waves of deep chestnut brown hair. Her fair skin is sort of flush, which really highlights and accentuates the freckles that kind of kiss across her nose. Her eyes are almost steely. She has a very stoic demeanor to her. Damn, JJ. Oh, dang, JJ. Getting beautiful ladies like that. Gotta watch my mouth. As you guys enter and kind of, you haven't started mingling yet, but huddled together as Awen and Contagious head off with a strange fellow. She gives a polite smile and nod, but remains seated and quiet and observant next to Thurl, almost just soaking in everything going on. The knights and the initiates all kind of give you side eyes, but will give a polite nod as they talk amongst themselves, drinking from tankards and cheersing and commiserating over past hunts and things of the sorts. Food is roasted
girl.
quail, roasted vegetables. There is a plethora of food. The contrast of the food here compared to what you had been eating in Red Larch is stark. This is like eating something cooked by Wolfgang Puck as opposed to having Chef Boyardee. It is decadent, delicious. Galita. So as Rick is performing and working your way around the room, Awen and Contagious, this will be taking place while you guys are downstairs prior to you coming back up. What are the rest of you wanting to do before you sit down and engage in the feast?
Nothing apparently.
I can.
Oh, just socially awkward.
Yeah. I feel Jay is definitely like walking around, giving curt nods, engaging in the politest of conversations, but also trying to keep an eye out for his like his party and make sure like if if voices are getting loud, he's gonna beeline and intervene. If yeah.
Can I retcon something?
Absolutely.
Can I say before, or maybe after Awen and Contagious little side huddle, before they ended up getting pulled off by Al, can I say that Awen would have cast something on Jacos?
Yeah, what would you have cast?
Enhance ability. I don't know what your charisma stats are. However, I know how they've gone in the past.
Hey, rolls.
So gonna use Eagle Splendor. So you'll have advantage on charisma checks. So don't anger any NPCs.
I love it. Go ahead and give me a perception check, please, Jacobs. Rick with your 12. Okay.
And I'm assuming I wouldn't be able to use guidance with mine because I'm playing my lyre, right?
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Oh,
I
did
need
not
you
see
to
those
turn that frown
numbers
upside
out.
down, sir. Oh, a 22 and a 14.
16.
Oh, 16. Yeah, I can math. Absolutely. Okay. Jen, is there anything that you're doing as the preparation for the feast is taking place and close to concluding?
I guess he would just be looking for anyone who might be a little shifty, someone who might not be fitting the description of like a noble gathering. Yeah, anyone who might be suspicious.
Beautiful. I'm going to have you roll insight for me, please. And then, Godre, is there anything that you were doing?
Oh my
Godfrey is
God,
gonna
so much better.
sort of like God's just gonna be moving through the crowd to find a strategic corner to which he could analyze everybody. But on the way, if anyone like he catches staring at him for like literally longer than 2 seconds, he'll like he'll be walking over, craning over them, dialing in just to make them feel like really uncomfortable, and then he'll just keep on moving through the crowd like that.
Go ahead and roll intimidation for me, please. And then are you just searching and scanning for anything sus going on, or are you trying to kind of size people up?
I would say Gondry is definitely one of the people he's gonna. I'll actually, you know what? I would say, has L returned yet, or or are they like all still gone?
Not yet. So this is all taking place as Awen and Contagious and Al have descended the stairs to go have their little reunion.
Okay. So in that case, yeah, he would be sort of looking at all the Feathergale Knights, or just Feather Girl associates to try and essentially size up who the biggest bad is, and then amongst like the nobles and partygoers, who the bottom totem pole is, whoever he determines the least threatening and for
The strongest
intimidation.
and weakest links.
Okay, go ahead and give me another or give me an insight for yours. 12 intimidation. Okay.
That didn't.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
And then a 14 insight. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna do this in order. Rick, as you are making your rounds. So the main table here is the semicircle, not quite half circle, that you guys had seen earlier when you were doing your tour or getting separated from the tour, getting caught snooping. And they have brought in a couple other tables to extend the semicircle. So it's one large, at this point almost like 3/4 circle table. And you hear bits of conversation as you make your round, Rick. You would hear one person telling another, I descended on the beast like a hawk upon a hare, as he's kind of holding up his knife from the silverware of the place setting and kind of like jabbing at the air, as the other guy tells him, Sir, you're so full of it. There's no way. You, of all people, like, there's no way you would have done that. But have another drink. Cheers. No, I swear. One stroke to the wing and it spiraled into the canyon. Oh, you should have seen it. You should have been there. Another couple people talking about a true knight should be able to tame any beast that rides the wind, provided that their heart is light enough. Thurl would be speaking to the gentleman to his right, but his words are softer. He's lowered his tone a bit as he leans in to speak to him. Not able to make out what it is, he gives a pat on the back to the gentleman to his right, and then turns to you as you walk by, just beaming and giving a thumbs up as you continue performing marvelously. Chakos, I am going to send you... Actually, I'm going to pull you down just because it'll be a lot faster. We will be right back, guys.
Bingo.
Bye. Hi, let's...
Looking like a double wide surprise.
Yeah. Alright, we just mute this real quick.
It's the silence that follows.
See, I did not enjoy that.
Trying to turn on my thing.
Just every time Denali comes back, I have Bugs Bunny in my mind, and every day I try and forget that image, and I can't.
Why Bugs
I don't have
Bunny?
I have something else in my mind, so.
I have
That's
questions
alarming.
in my mind.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay. So we have that. Jen,
Indicated.
with
Some-
your
To schedule like stood.
20 insight, the people who seem to be sort of out of place or
That was already scheduled.
maybe a
Sorry,
little
I'm
out
trying
of
to-
their element. No, you're fine. And I actually need to change their token, so give me just a moment. There's a group of 6 people that are not wearing the same attire and garb as the Feathergale Knights. These are the initiates that they had mentioned to you previously, and they are wearing leather armaments that have a less impressive sigil of the Feathergale Knight feather on the breast of their armor, and more common cloaks. And they seem there's a mix. Some of them seem to be more quiet and reserved, a little more timid, while others seem to almost be peacocking, walking with the shoulders back and chests out, trying to make their presence known. But there's definitely something off and different about the way that they carry themselves. Thurl has a very commanding presence, but it comes with an air of ease as he smiles and engages in conversation easily with anyone who were to try to talk to him. He seems to be kindly engaging with the people around him, including the lady above the table. We know this is Lady Sarva. Something else that you notice with your 20 insight is that Lady Sarva seems to be very out of her element. There's an air about her, some nobility, some regality, which you recognize from your own upbringing. The way that she poises herself, and the polite way in which she smiles and nods or laughs softly at the appropriate moments. But what catches your attention even more is her attire. The dress that she is wearing appears to have at one point been, oh my god, this music, quite beautiful. But it is not something that anyone of noble descent, at least that you can think of, would be caught dead wearing at all, let alone at a feast where people will be rubbing elbows. The hem of her dress is dirty, and not just I've been walking around this giant spire all day, but almost as though she had been traveling for a bit, I think is a good way to put it. Bits of the fabric are kind of torn and frayed, along the hemline of the seam line of the sleeves. And it's just a very disheveled look in general, but especially taking into consideration the events taking place.
AJ, you having fun?
It's from Night at the Roxbury. Any questions or anything that you need clarified, Jen?
Is she like sitting with other people already, or is she like standing? What is she doing?
She is seated here. Let me put them on the map appropriately.
Could you reshare that map? I think I closed it.
Absolutely,
Yes, please.
absolutely. And this is again just a rough representation of what it actually is. Resharing now.
I'm sorry, but you guys have to see the thing my friend drew me.
Nice.
Can everybody see
I want
that?
to see everything.
I got Feathergale Spire level 2.
Correct.
Is
Oh, you guys are in the
also-
room, that's why. If you
I
guys
got
move your
in the room.
tokens.
I want to see.
Oh no.
So now you guys can see. My apologies, I forgot line of
Love.
sight is on.
Jonathan, when I catch you. Sorry.
Josh and Robert are in the bottom left.
Yes. So she is seated at the table. She is to the left of Thurl. And then there is a gentleman to the right of Thurl. And then let me just do a little drawing on here for you guys. Again, I wasn't able to find a map that worked. I was working on everything else for the session.
You're good. You got a lot prepared for us?
Excuse me, the what?
Hmm?
Howling Hatred Initiate. Interesting.
Oh, you can see that? That should be hidden.
Yep.
Well, Fantasy Grounds has disappointed me.
Yeah, I see unidentified 5 and then right below him.
Let me go back.
Right in between
and
5 and Robert, huh?
What?
Yeah. I'll just blame Robert.
Yeah, we're gonna blame Robert.
Robert.
Yes. So that should just
Good
be
job.
one of the initiates.
I didn't-
We're gonna
that's
go.
Horace.
Yeah.
You didn't see anything.
Get the Men in Black contraption and just like for the last 5 seconds. So then let me go ahead and move these guys as well. And then I'll have to change tokens in a little bit for the initiates. But 6 of these tokens are actually initiates for the Feathergale Spire.
Lady Sarva looks like what's her name? Noah Cyrus? Miley's younger sister.
Oh yeah.
That's what it is. JJ got me the inspo. I was like, I can't place it.
I like it. So there would be people seated on both sides. And again, this is just a rough representation. So you guys would be able to sit where you wanted. For time's sake and everything, we'll say that there would be room for you guys to all kind of sit together unless you wanted to kind of spread out a bit.
I was hoping to sit as close as I could to Lady Sarva without making it like obvious. Just like picking a spot right beside her, sort of thing.
The best bet would be to sit on the opposite side across from her.
Yeah, like maybe like
Yeah.
this, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Have Contagious and Awen come back yet?
Not yet, because I've still got to get to Godry. I just want to make
That's
sure that
correct.
I've got everything answered and clarified for everybody before I move on. I don't want to leave you guys hanging or anything like that.
Us or something?
What was that, Liv?
I said, what, y'all miss us or something?
I think everybody like above the table is dying to see if you're gonna come back up and tell them what happened. They want to
Yeah,
have a
that's probably more
kiki.
accurate.
They want a kiki and a kai kai. As you take your place across from Lady Sarvachin, would you like to engage at all, or are you just observing and listening?
I guess like everyone's still sitting down, so he'll wait a bit before talking. So it's not like he immediately sits down and starts, starting a conversation. I think he would take a moment to just let them get settled in.
Okay. Oh, that is not what I wanted. This is the problem with not screening music before we put it on. We just get random stuff. Okay. So, Godry, with your 12 intimidation, you are definitely getting a lot of lingering looks. With your 14 insight, you don't think that any of them are menacing, but as you kind of double down and stand your ground, not really caring of whether or not they're trying to intimidate or have any kind of nefarious intentions, as you kind of elongate yourself and hover over them. The initiates will kind of like cower a bit and like avert their eyes. Some of the other ones, the Feathergale Knights, especially the ones who've been drinking a little bit prior to this, little pre-gaming, kind of chuckle a bit and like elbow each other and check out that. I've never seen anything like that before. Where in the hells did that thing come from? I don't know, but I like his frills. He's got good taste. And they kind of, laugh a bit. One of them, just because I am a terrible person, would make comments of, well, at least he's not wearing lady pants like the other one earlier. I love you, Auntie.
Taking off the glasses. He has to have glasses underneath his crazy.
I love it. I love it.
Just for giggles.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Which one would have made that comment?
You know what? I'm gonna roll a d12. Let's see.
No, it's identified that was the weird hatred thing.
Unidentified 36.
His name is Horace.
Horus. Frickin' Horus.
Unidentified 13,
See,
which is
You just-
right from Thurl. He's 2 slots over to the right.
okay. And this would have
Get
been
him.
before everyone was seated?
Correct.
Okay, so in that case, when everyone would go to get seated, Godry would go and I imagine these are like kind of wooden chairs.
Yes.
Right? He would get up and like he would be like standing on the chair, crouched, but his parts, since they're not like bones, they would be oddly straightened and unsettling, and he would just dilate just a little bit, and he would just keep unending focus on number 13, and he would say, "That man in lady pants had more than you could ever hope in your armor." And then he'll focus in a little more.
I have to filter myself. He just kind of looks at you and shrugs and, yeah, if you say so. Whatever you say, pal. And that one, doopa-doopa-doo. That's gonna be, I've got to change these names down here. And unidentified 13 is actually, I need to change his name. This music. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to change this. This is gonna be distracting with the lyrics. I'm so sorry. We're gonna put this back on. But yeah, he'd kind of just, you know, kind of shrug it off and like turn away. 14 insight. You've sent that message. At this point, as some more plates and decanters and tankers of ale are brought up, two of the people who have brought them up and set them down kind of step back into the corners here. If it'll ping. Here and here, and they begin to blow their horns. Just quick little not too loud or deafening. With that, Thurl kind of claps his hands together as he stands up and invites all of you to come and take a seat. Awen, Contagious, at this point, this is where the exchange is completed with Al, as you guys begin to come back upstairs. Wait, never mind what? Sorry, I need to keep up with the chats.
It's
really dumb.
It's really dumb.
We're being foul.
Okay. This filtering stuff is not working for me. I may just submit another episode, because this is killing my groove, man.
We're all funneling it in through the chat.
But I can't do that. I'm not able to do that.
Also, the never mind was I literally just said, if this session ends with me and Awen coming back, so I have another week to process, I'd be so happy. And not 4 seconds later, you're like, well, you guys are coming back now. And I was like, never mind.
Sorry about it. So I'll give you guys a minute if there's anything else you want to do before we get all of this going. If you guys want to have any kind of conversations or any kind of like sneaky. Now, sneaky link's not what I mean. That's like a side piece or something, right? I don't know all the new lingo, guys. I feel like super old. Like, if you guys want to have any like private conversations amongst yourselves.
Sneaky link.
I don't know. I feel like my parents, like, we're cool, we're hip, like.
You've never heard that?
No.
Oh, well, you were right, Denali.
Okay, I'm learning things. That's not what I meant,
you
though.
were right in being wrong.
It was very, very wrong. But yeah, if you guys want to have any kind of conversations, if there's anything else you guys want to do or look for, or anything of the sorts, I'll give you guys some time to do that.
I think immediately after, Awen would be kind of following Contagious's lead. As far as like where they're going, she is very well aware that you might be doing the talking, and that's okay. But like as far as like going and immediately reporting to our friends or whatever, that's gonna be Cat's decision.
I'm sorry, who?
Cat, Contagious.
I'm being facetious, sorry.
I in my notes, I shortened Contagious to Cat. It has transferred.
I do it all the time when I'm typing.
I do it too, but I was just making a joke because the Gideon thing.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Who come back?
I always put Awen's name as Awi, like A-W-Y.
Oh.
It's just really funny because there's not a Y in there.
Cute, actually.
It's just faster to write.
I like it.
Reprogramming Awen to Awi.
So, when we're coming back in, everyone else is already like taking their spots, sitting down, all that jazz.
Wait, say that again. Sorry, I was reading a player message.
You're good. So by the time we're coming back in the room, the rest of the party is already like
getting
they're
settled
taking their
in.
seats. They're doing okay.
Yeah. Well, unless they opted to wait or anything like that.
I would probably coming back in if people are starting to like sit around, whatever. I am just gonna try to find 2 seats for me and Awen. Probably like either where we are right now on the map, like on like far corner of the table or other corner of the table, away from what appears to be the center where Thrall is, and just sit without saying anything.
Okay. Do you want to sit
And
next
just-
to Al?
No, not at all.
Why
I was
is
about to
he
make an
not
enemies to lovers
on?
joke, and then I decided against it.
Do it.
And then I pretty much want to find the place furthest away from the most people I either recognize and just kind of scout the room out before anything goes down.
Okay. I am going to go ahead.
I was gonna say when Contagious and Awen come back and seat themselves, Gaji would, because assuming this is sort of where they're seating, if Gaji can get something over Contagious, he'd probably stay in Terran, pointing at Uranus. I defended your honor. He is, from the words I picked up today, bitch made. And then he would reorient. He would
Do you know
sort of
how many people probably
his head.
speak primordial as well?
Exactly.
I would say I would like to try to gauge how many people around me seem to clock what Gaudry was saying and understood it. If he's speaking, because I know you're speaking Terran, but it's still probable that a lot of people
That's like
understand
the brother
it.
language.
None of them.
Speaking Latin, and then like a Spanish speaker being able to pick up on a handful of it.
Yeah, Spanglish. None of them appear to pay any mind.
I want to. Hold on. Sorry. I want to reply to Gaudry in Orin, not Terran. Just saying, like, looking forward to the feast as a response to what he said, and see if anyone has more recognition of that than the Terran.
Go ahead and give me a perception check, please.
Guidance?
No, you don't
No,
know that
I'm
he's
kinda
looking
doing it off the
around.
cuff.
Yeah, you
no,
don't know
that's
that
fair.
he's
I'm
doing
still gonna
it.
try.
No one
Always
seems
gonna
to bat an eye. There doesn't seem to be a
my
response or a
God.
reaction.
Gotta get one out of the
Two
way, right,
friends
for
having
Troll Night.
some conversation. They're minding their business. They know their lanes.
Bo is going crazy.
I'm so sorry. It is chaos in my home right now.
Nothing will break the shared dream when it happened, because that was so serious. That was the best.
That night was amazing.
Maybe you could use that for your thingy.
Yeah, I think
Those
that'll be
DM
one of them.
skills.
Thank you. I got player messages. Give me just a moment.
Muchacho.
Good luck to anybody who has to read my notes.
So because this isn't like a charm, it's literally causing things to take place, like sensory things or creation of substances, so to speak. That to me is if they see it, then they see it. If they don't, which there's always a possibility depending on where you are when the casting of that takes place, Rick. But because it's not like a charm or anything like that, if it's because you're literally conjuring stuff and creating stuff to happen, it's possible, very possible for them to see and know.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, it was easier to reply verbally than to try and text on the phone.
Um,
Go ahead, Jacobs. I'm sorry, Hen.
When like everybody's sitting down and Jin and I get the seats across from Thurl and Lady Sarva, it's just gonna spark up like polite conversations. Like, is you mentioned a noble lady from Waterdeep? Is this her? Can you like introduce us? Because you can't just talk to somebody you don't know in these circles.
You said that to Thurl?
Not the last bit, but just like you mentioned there was someone from Waterdeep. I've actually traveled through there. Would you be able to like... Or you said Lady Sarva was coming from Waterdeep.
Yes, I was just waiting for your friends to join us before doing the pleasantries and introductions and starting things. As he kind of narrows his eyes ever so slightly at you, having traveled through Waterdeep and being so familiar with their customs, you would know that it's customary and polite to wait for all of your guests to be in attendance before kicking things off, as he gives a wink.
I have sat down at the table. They're just down there. You gotta like crane your neck from sitting there.
Chakos is like always killing it with the social interactions. I love it.
These are things I wish I could say at work.
Oh, dude, the intrusive thoughts, they always win. Okay. With a 7, and I'm going to come right back to this in just a second, Jacos. With a 7, there's not really a whole lot that you're able to kind of pick from this Godry. The smooth, fleshy beings are, and their customs are still slightly foreign to you. Learning to pick up on the nuances of the way that they carry themselves when they interact, or reading between the lines of their body language and facial expressions. It's not something that you've quite completely mastered just yet. He definitely does not look happy, but there's not much more you're able to pick up than that. And Contagious seems different. There's something different in the way that he's carrying himself as well, but you can't quite place your digits on it.
Are there
Is this chat better for us
windows
to
in this
type
room?
in Denali?
You guys are totally fine. You guys are totally fine.
How many different chats do we need during game
Yes.
while on a voice call? Are there any like windows in this area we're in, like big windows and stuff like that?
Yes. So there are windows, and again, the ceilings in this spire are like 20 feet tall, and there are windows here, 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 and here. And the windows go up 15 feet. So
How
there's...
are they? Is the bottom of them at floor level, or are they a little bit up?
Yes, so it's floor to 15 feet up. So there's 5 feet between the top of the window and the ceiling.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Who's willing to
Actually,
cut a window?
sorry. One other question.
Mhm.
Don't worry about anything.
Yeah.
How high up are we in the tower right now?
You guys are on the 2nd floor. So are you wanting to know from like the stable level, or how high above the valley beneath you are you? Because those are two very different answers.
I guess depends on what's directly below the window.
Uh,
Hypothetically?
So if you were to open a window and step outside, you would be stepping out and falling down into the valley below. There's no platform or anything like that, except for at the very top of the spire, which is where I believe it was you. Somebody had seen a couple guards patrolling when you guys were staking things out prior to your failed attempt to sleep and meeting Thurl and some of the other Feathergale knights.
Got it. Okay.
So you're wanting to know how high up you are from the floor of the valley, correct?
Yeah, not like super specific. Just we're pretty high up. Yeah.
Yeah.
From that,
Like
yeah.
that's a permadeath. That's not
Like, we're
a.
not just gonna fall 2 stories and be on ground level. It's going down into the valley.
It's not rolling death saves. It's rolling 4d6 and dropping the lowest 6 times.
No, no, we survived that.
Well, you
Yeah,
might
don't you
with
remember?
with
Rick
your
can fly.
Featherfall. Oh yeah, Rick can fly.
Because Featherfall is what, 5? 5?
Rick and fall with style. Oh my god, I'm lying.
It's me plus 5. So one of us would die.
Just all hypotheticals. That's all I need to know.
And Featherfall lasts for what? 1 minute?
I mean,
Yeah.
theoretically, because someone could polymorph, but
How many feet depth deep is it?
60 feet per round. So 60 times 10, 600 feet.
It's roughly you can fall 500 feet per round. I've always done 500.
600.
Is it 6? I've always done 5.
500?
Yeah.
It says 60 feet per round.
fish off a cliff. That's all I'm
Let
saying.
me double check.
With Featherfall.
Oh, I thought I'm just talking in general. So yeah.
Yeah.
So it's you can fall 500 feet per round, and from the base of the valley up to the base of the spire, that's 600 feet, and then the spire itself is another 200. So you guys are on the second floor, so that would be 700 feet.
So we all grab onto each other at the same time, and as we're
What
falling,
are we planning?
We're not doing
once
anything.
we get to 500 feet, then I'll cast Featherfall. I'm just saying if that's an option you guys want to do.
Anyway, sorry. We can continue. I just wanted to know the layout of the options.
Options.
How much damage could be absorbed if we use a meat shield, right? Then
Oh my
Look at
god.
Godfrey.
Oh, Melanza.
Godry doesn't have any meat.
wait.
Wee.
Not
Yeah,
on
I
the
should
outside.
meat shield. Nah. Oh, he fucking reveals
Hold on.
the
Do these tables
flesh.
have tablecloths on them?
Yes, they do. They are light
so
I
we'll
blue.
imagine
grab a
he's
tablecloth,
built like
and we all
one of Freddy's animatronics.
I am
my
so sorry.
God.
I did not mean to start this.
Oh, Melanza.
I imagine he's built like one of Freddy's animatronics. And there's just a weird, fleshy, disgusting inside.
Listen, my inside, they're beautiful like everyone else's. That was quite rude. Alright? I may not have a fleshy exterior, but my interior is beautiful. Alright?
And well oiled.
Well, there he is.
Oh,
Okay. Well, if you guys want to jump out the window, I can stroll out the front door. I mean, I won't be on the ground, but I'll leave. Oh, wait, no, that's if the... Oh, I'm chilling. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute.
Have we added the Jeopardy music to the soundboard yet?
We should.
The waiting sound or
Yeah.
We good? So, as everybody takes their seats, and Rick has a JD moment like in Scrubs where he's ripping the tablecloth from the table, leaving all of the food and cutlery and everything as is, like those, you know what I'm talking about, before
Yeah, like when
heroically sweeping all of you up in one fluid swoop and busting out the window and casting Featherfall and saving you. Just for flavor, JD
didn't
moment.
know
It'd
we
be
were
fun.
in danger.
Thurl will stand and clear his throat. This spire stands for strength, discipline, and honor, carried on the wind and tested in the storm. It was built not for comfort, but for vigilance. And in these skies, friends, danger is never far. That is why we do what we do. Tonight, we have a very special guest, as he turns his attention to Lady Sarva next to him. A lovely young woman, as he looks to all of you specifically, addressing the crowd. Sorry, shit's popping off over there. I told you that there was information that we could potentially have line up with what it is that you've heard from your friends, the Kelly Reeds and Red Larch. And Lady Sarva is the one to share it. As he holds up his tankards and feast while we speak, and we'll take a heavy drink from it before sitting back down. Lady Sarva kind of looks a bit uncomfortable, and thank you for that kind introduction, Thurl. Yes, I'm not sure what information it is that you came forth with. If you don't mind my asking, what news did you bring with you? As her eyes scan all of you.
I'll say me and Kat are all the way on the other end of the table.
I was saying, I'm just shooting glares at, like... Yeah, based on I'm looking at Jacos. Just kind of like giving the... Come on, you know, we're gonna look.
Oh, by the way, that's gonna last for an hour.
Okay. 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 Gonna assume this awkward eye contact is for me and us. What we have learned in our arduous travels is that a group that we have had a few encounters with, we know keep wanting to say the Black Hand, I'm so sorry, Black Earth, has been operating in and under Red Larch. And in following their movements, we have had to leave Red Larch and focus on another path. And that has led us to this wonderful interaction and being guest at this love.
You said they were doing things under the town of Red Lodge.
Yes, there is a massive amount of tunnels under Red Larch that they have been using as an offering space, and we had an encounter with them once, and going back down to check, the people that we encountered and dispatched of did not stay dispatched of.
An air of necromancy.
Smelled like it.
Oh, how foul. I was taken prisoner by some of the Black Earth cultists. I did not encounter any signs of necromancy, but there were whispers of it. They kept me... Go ahead.
Nope. Continue.
They kept me pretty isolated, but when they did their rounds to keep watch over me and the others, there were whispers of a prophet who speaks through stone. I heard the name Marlos. That is Marlos. I'm not sure if they were one and the same.
And Rayleigh?
I don't get the reference.
That's his name. That was in the Orloth's journal.
What? What?
Sorry, continue.
No, you're
I'm
good.
so glad we have Beak here.
I know.
Nope, didn't even ring a bell.
And I'm trying to play it off like nothing's going on. I'm sorry, I shouldn't gaslight you. I shouldn't gaslight you guys. They kept me. Do you say anything, Awen, or is that just you? Because the player excited.
Maybe Awen will whisper it to Contagious. But that's it.
Okay. Give me just a second. I've got player messages. I want to make sure I'm not leaving anybody hanging. Ooh, okay. Let me double check the verbiage on that because I want to make sure that I am not missing anything.
I didn't realize you changed your profile picture, and I was like, who the hell is this?
That's Daddy. Okay. So, Godry, as you pick up on that, and decide to kind of tap into this, the room shifts, taking on hues of grays and whites and blacks, with kind of fuzzy visages, outlines of all of the people around you. You can see the heat signatures that kind of radiate out from everybody in this room. As you focus in on her specifically, nothing appears abnormal as far as this goes. But you're welcome to roll insight if you choose to do so. Lady Larva. Okay. With a 20. Not a natural 20. Filtering myself. There is definitely something off in her speech pattern. There are moments of hesitation where she seems to be thinking very, very hard about what it is that she's saying. You notice that her breathing pattern is also very structured, almost as though she is intentionally monitoring her breathing. And not just that, but the positioning of her body, how she is sitting, what she is saying, how she is saying it. You're not getting anything nefarious from it, but I am going to shoot you a quick message. Taking a deep breath and kind of scanning the room and watching all of your faces, exhaling heavily. I briefly saw a courtyard, wherever it is that they had taken me, before I was thrown into my cell. I don't know the exact location, but I believe that we were underground. I know that we were not near Red Lodge, though. The travel was too far in the opposite direction. There were some other travelers. Some during my stay had been dragged away and were never returned. If what you say is taking place in Red Lodge is true, that could likely be a connection there. Either sacrifices or practicing of the dark arts, necromancy. There was another person in there. I believe they were from Mirabar. Our time together was quite short, and they'd gone on about being concerned where the rest of the party was. But I did not get to ask any further questions or pry deeper into it before he was dragged off screaming by the cultists.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is Mirabar a place?
Our name of the caravan.
I know it was the name of the caravan, but she said they were from Mirabar, not like from the Mirabar. So I just was making sure I wasn't confused.
No, that is what she said. She says she believes that they said they were from Mirabar.
Okay.
In Eowyn's worldly travels, does she know of Mirabar?
I was gonna say.
Go ahead and give me a history check.
Oh. Let's see here. Guidance.
So, and if anybody else wants to roll history, you're welcome to.
Hello?
Sure.
And then player message. Sorry, there's a lot of moving pieces.
Her once is decent.
Okay.
For giggles, I want to see where I weigh in on this.
Dude, why are
Okay,
we all
give
getting
me
13?
just a second. Okay, 16. Okay. So Rick, roll at history to remember what we're rolling history for. So Awen, Godry, and Jacos, all of you have heard of Mirabar before in your conversations of the Mirabar delegation, the caravan. Rick, not really sure how this works out for you, but it does. As your encounter previously with Datura had kind of reignited, oh my god, that face, some of your lost memories. Little fragments have started to kind of come back in bits and pieces. You know that Mirabar is a mining city. located north. I believe it's north of Waterdeep, and at one
You said
point
it's a
had
what city?
mining city, and it had predominantly been inhabited by shield dwarves, many of which who lived underground. So you know that Mirabar is actually a place. Kat, so to answer your question about the question that I asked about your question, are you inciting, are you wanting to roll for the conversation? Because I wasn't sure with the last bit of what you'd said wanting to keep your eye on that.
Oh,
So I wasn't sure.
Not for her, but just while she's talking.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me insight. I think this is the most like behind the scenes messages we've been getting.
We're all just like bombarding you.
I love it. And my pigeon brain is like focused.
Going
Brothers
cross-eyed.
must be focused.
Dang, our man's really wants it.
Okay.
Okay. I will go ahead, if you're okay, and share this above table since you are the second person to be getting this information. Player or character-wise, only the two of you will have this based on the roles. But just so I don't have to keep sending the same messages. There, much like I'd said for Godfrey, there's something very calculated in the way that she is carrying herself.
Oh, sorry. Misunderstanding. Not her.
The other one?
Yes.
The one whose name was actually mentioned?
Yes.
Oh, okay, let me...
Like, while she's talking, I'm listening, but I'm looking at the other person.
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry for the confusion.
Oh, no, you're good. Oh, you know what? I misread the name. I thought you were talking about Awen. That's what I get. There's so many moving pieces. I was about to message Awen and be like, what are you doing? How are you looking? Okay. So that changes things. Before you start watching them, you can feel their eyes on you. Not directly. They are, politely facing Lady Sarva as she's speaking, occasionally giving the expected pleasantries of a smile and nod or, oh, that's interesting kind of thing. But you can feel from the corner of his eyes that he is keeping you in his vision. As he's eating, you can see the tension in his hands as he holds the fork and knife.
I thought you said pants. I thought you said tension in his pants.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? All right, we're gonna have to do a different episode. He has the weirdest boner right now. He's got the weirdest boner. You broke me.
Fucking God. Everyone let it out.
Yeah. This one is not for the kids. We're not.
By the way, so we all lose the bet, right? Because no actual bet was there, but like no one would have betted that Beak would be the one to sully this episode.
No, I thought it was gonna be me. I figured it would be me, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, the first two words out of my mouth had "fuck" in it, so. But yes, no tension. He does not have like a fear or anger boner. There's no tension in his pants.
Sorry.
It's okay. I feel like I don't have to be so guarded now. Let's fucking buckle up, boys and girls.
Oh, we made it, boys
Backstage.
and girls.
How was I supposed
Yes. You know what? We made it an hour and a half. That's
Sorry,
impressive.
Crotch goblins next time.
No, you're gonna love this now.
Uh-oh. Is it something that you're posting, or?
What
Okay,
are
let
we
me
talking
see.
about, huh? Denali dollars. Uh-oh.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
I might use it. I might use it.
Do it. Okay. But yeah, there's definitely that tension. With the ooh, absolutely give me a sleight of hand. The DC will be a bit higher because of all the bodies in the room, but yes. Um,
I'm gonna use inspiration.
okay.
Why are there so many 4s getting rolled tonight? What is this?
Yeah, 4.
I'm just going to do.
That's the thing with rolling online. We can't even like cleanse our dice.
So
Sure, you can't
You
even
just
blame the
take-
dice. It's
You
mad.
take the computer outside and you spray it down with a hose.
Maybe that's why you're
Uh-huh.
doing
No, you turn on the shower and you dangle it above the water.
That's why Discord doesn't work for you. Love it.
That was a good one. That was good. That was good. Whew.
I feel like that deserves inspo.
I'm already maxed out, baby.
Okay, so I sent you a question, but then I also have another one. What are you doing to help make this more nonchalant? And you know, you've got, 18, 20 people in this room that are not certainly, undoubtedly on your side. So what is it, how is it that you're going about doing this to kind of make it less obvious? How are you masking this?
May I possibly assist if I can see what's going on or if I get a heads up? That's only if.
That
Because I was gonna switch the conversation over away from her directly.
that is up to Jen. Would you make it known to Jacos at all, or are you trying to do this without anybody knowing?
He doesn't he wants to make it as discreet as possible, so it's just kind of hard to. I guess he would just maybe give a slight little motion with his a little
Little
nod.
pussy?
Not that no.
No.
No pussy.
Under the table
Maybe-
nuts would be.
Maybe showing the slip of paper for a moment and then twirling it back in his hand to the other one so that he can hand it off afterwards.
Okay. Jacos, how are you trying to help? I'm almost afraid to ask. And point of inspiration, Jen?
There's that I am so sorry that's happened to you, and if you don't want to discuss it, I totally understand. We can absolutely switch over to this dinner here. Switch over Thurl.
Ah, that's me.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, obviously, is this a partial celebration of Lady Sarva being freed, or is there something going on here that the dinner is for? I mean, I see the knights here. I also see this group that is in leathers, but still marked. Obviously, is there something going on?
Ah, observant and patient. He kind of chuckles. Yes, it is slightly a celebration for Lady Sarva's safe rescue before returning her to Waterdeep. But there is absolutely another cause for this gathering. Real quick.
by going like that. It was just like, hey, look this way.
Yeah, no, I liked it. Jen, you were able to successfully do this. You accomplish it successfully. And in fact, if you want to crit fish and roll again to have the advantage, yes, Contagious and Awen.
I just want to say this before I forget. Awen will be trying to make small talk with the people kind of on their end of the table.
Mhm.
This is obviously when you get to it. I just don't want to forget.
Okay. Kat, you're engaging as well.
Oh, hell no.
I imagine he's got like the
I've got one
completely
target.
zoned out.
That's all I'm looking at.
Yes. Sorry, I'm having to write so much down. Like, normally my notes are more structured. This is just a bunch of shorthand stuff like, don't forget, come back. No.
I forgot to add something to it.
Oh,
but-
absolutely, absolutely.
So this note is going to Sarver, right?
Above the table, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to wait until I get the last bit of it to...
There we go.
As she gets it, and we're going to roll for her. Oh, no, not a d12. For her sleight of hand. Okay. She successfully accepts it from you. But you see that she is kind of struggling to get it open, so she lets it set for a moment. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love that the wheels are turning. Oh my gosh. And so as you're watching this, you watch her kind of slip it off of the table and into the palms of her hands as she places her hands in her laps for her lap, singular, not plural, for a moment, and gives you a look that is kind of like, when I can. And she's going to hold off on reading it for right now. She rolled really terribly on her sleight of hand.
I'm glad she's smart at least.
Yes.
Una. It looks like she has personal beef with the freaking food lion bag on her floor.
Can we take break? I gotta pee.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take we'll take our 10-minute break here. I will respond to player messages while we are on break. And we'll come back in 10, picking this up.
none of it.
Meth and frogs bussing it was great. The frog on his back with lingerie killed me. That's a wild thing to come back to while streaming. I love it. Welcome back, ladies and germs. Okay, lots of moving pieces. Jen, after a few minutes, as Thurl begins to go into the details of the rest of the reason for this feast, as you're kind of keeping an eye on Lady Sarva, ultimately she looks up at you, tucking some hair behind her ears, and gives the very slight, like, if you need to insight that, you can, or if you need me to elaborate a bit, I can. But that is what you get.
I'll do an insight just to see. The 14 be enough?
Oh yeah, I think that would be enough. It's very much uncertainty. So it's not a yes, but it definitely isn't a no. And as Thurl is speaking, as he takes the breath, she will kind of look to you and Jacos, and I can answer more questions for you later if you have more questions regarding my time with the cultists. I'd be more than happy to expand on that.
Yeah, I love to reminisce about Waterdeep. It's been quite a while since I've been there.
Give me just a moment. Sorry, the kids are acting up.
You're
The
good.
lizard blink.
That's what I'm literally typing right now.
I used to be able to do it. Can't do it anymore. I'm so sorry. I have been sick for like
Did
all
you
week.
open up another? My
Ace, you have
brothers,
a
we
problem.
must stay focused. What?
Good.
My brothers, we must stay focused.
Godry, you said you got a 22?
25.
25. Okay, that's decent. There doesn't appear to be anyone paying less or more attention than anyone else. You can see pretty much across the board, everybody is paying attention. There's some sense of disgruntlement as the Black Earth cultists are mentioned. Everybody seems to be on the same page of not being big fans of them. The person who I guess would seem slightly less attentive to the conversation would be Al. He is pretending to be engaged and pretending to listen, but his attention seems to be focused elsewhere, specifically on a friend of yours. With your 25, you get that there is a sense of frustration and anger, coupled with smugness, a sense of, I wish a bitch would. You're muted, so I don't know what you said.
Just interesting. Just interesting. Okay. I will keep this information as I plot.
And then, Rick, did I have you roll for something? Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with all of these moving pieces and answer questions. Did I miss anything from anybody before I continue?
Excuse me.
Yay, my balls are still in the air. Um,
I was gonna say, are you moving? Awen wanted to make small talk with
Oh.
the people around her. But
yes. Well, we can do the small talk before we go into Thurl's whole thing. The small talk we'll say is taking place while Lady Sarva is giving her spiel. What?
Let me know before Thrall speaks.
Okay. So, Awen, how would you begin this exchange?
I mean, she would just kind of like strike up light small talk with the people around her to like keep up appearances. Asking them, you know, how long they've been a part of the Feathergale, what's it like, stuff like that.
Okay.
What's the initiation? Do you trust your leader? Are you cultist?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just to list a few options.
What's your favorite color? Do you know the Earth Cult?
Jen, you absolutely could. I will come back to that in just a moment.
She's more trying to let them, especially noticing the vibe around this place, trying to let them do all of the talking, and you know, like these are dudes, and they seem very much full of themselves, and also there's alcohol, and like hopefully they'll just do all the work for it.
Yeah.
She can just smile and be pretty.
Be pretty, and pretty she is. I thought I had changed the names of one of them. Okay, give me just a second to put this
Bad dude
back.
just turned to. Oh wait, you did change it.
Oh.
I think Initiate 8 was the dude with the hate.
Why did these names change? Okay, hold on. So, 25 and 24. Give me just a second to change these back.
Whammon pants.
Bow, bow, bow. I don't understand why it did that. Okay. So the two gentlemen to your left would introduce themselves as Aranis and Jimothy. Jimothy!
Sorry.
They would. Jimothy is less talkative than Aranis is, and Aranis would tell you that me and Jimothy here, we've been in the Feathergale Knights for a few years, 4, maybe 5. We came in as initiates together from Neverwinter, and it's been quite an adventure. We taken on some beasts as he kind of looks up at all the mounted heads against the wall. There's not really anything of interest that we're at liberty to go too much into detail about, but it is quite thrilling and quite fulfilling to be a member of the Feathergale Knights, protecting the people, killing manticores, all those good things.
That sounds very impressive. I can imagine.
Jimothy chimes
Do you
in
travel
with a,
far?
well, sometimes we do. Most of the time we just patrol the Sighing Valley and surrounding area, sometimes venturing further into Somber Hills, but we don't go too far outside of our territory unless absolutely necessary. Most of the manticore problems are in and around this area, so that's usually where we tend to stick to. But every once in a while we get some prying eyes and wandering strangers who try to prod in a bit. so we do, you know, scout the whole area just to make sure that the knights are protected. We can't protect if we're not protected, Jimothy says. Ain't that the truth? Oh, huh.
How wise.
Where are you from, pretty little lady?
Sorry.
I can only do so many, like, douchey male
No, you-
voices.
You
Like,
are good. I just have a visceral reaction. Don't mind me. Fuck. I'm trying to think of directions. Where is the our deep forest compared to this?
I believe it
Or
is
if-
southwest.
Southeast, southwest,
Southwest.
whatever. Is there a notable, instead of just saying east, you say? Okay. Instead of just saying like the our deep forest, is there like a notable civilization closer to that she could say like, oh, I'm from around blah blah blah?
Let me see if there's anything close to that you would know about. You would know that, like, well, that's not really close. I think you would know that, like, Nightstone is kind of close by. Excuse me. I think, like, Nightstone would have been one of the smaller settlements. Frog, but oh my god, busting it open. Oh my Lanta. Would be one of the places that you would have ventured, or that your family would have ventured, to sell your wares.
I already forgot what it was. Stone what?
Nightstone.
Nightstone.
Yeah, which is
She'll
just
say,
on, like, the
um,
eastern edge.
I'm from somewhere near Nightstone, if you know where that is, but
Ah, yes. Or is it from, Dellum Byron? Or further out? Perhaps Daggerford?
I'm not looking at a map. I don't know if Awen knows these places.
I think they're close enough that depending on, like, how far out your family ventured for business.
Oh, they didn't. They
Oh,
didn't.
I don't know why I thought
Owen
they
went to the
did.
nearest town,
Okay, that would have been Nightstone.
like, and town, not even city, like town.
Okay. Nightstone is
Well, village.
pretty small, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's anywhere near that, but she'll say, yeah, about those spots. Recently traveled to Bedwatch.
Ah.
You're smart to avoid the Sign Valley. Whoa. I didn't realize how close I was to everything.
Yeah.
Oh. So, like, in theory, she might have passed through Waterdeep at some point, like, to get to Red Larch.
Potentially.
Huh.
If you were sticking to the main roads, yeah. At least, you know, maybe not passing through, but passing by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and she'll just maintain, small talk, trying to, you know, let them disclose anything, but also keeping an ear out for the larger conversation happening, and keeping an eye on Contagious.
Contagious, have you even touched your food?
Nope.
Didn't think so. Okay. They would not disclose, like, anything, like, super interesting or of value as far as what it is you're really wanting to know. Like I said, Jimothy doesn't do a lot of the talking. Kind of just chimes in with, like, mouthfuls of food of and, you know, the strong silent
Charming.
time. Very, very. He's really good with the women folk. Just ask him.
And Awen will pretend to, you know, if there are any more little lady comments, like, blush at them or, you know, go along with it, just trying to play the part, but...
Give me a performance.
Oh, no! hear this. I was thinking, I was like, you know, it could be advantageous. Awen's the only girl in their group. She could try to, like, but I was like, no. And this is
Does
why.
not mean she can
I
flirt.
respect it.
No. What are we doing? Performance?
Yes, please.
Do we inspo it?
You can guide yourself on this one too.
I don't think it's high stakes, but
It's funny.
it's funny, and I've got full inspo, so.
Watch it just get worse.
You? Why did you say that?
Man, that one teetered
Wow.
too. That guy teetered for a bit.
I'm so,
Sweet.
I'm so
Wow.
sorry. I'm
No,
so
you're not.
sorry. I am, but I'm not. It's
Fucking get
amazing.
worse. Okay, well,
But you know what? It's so like on par for Awen. It really is.
yeah.
It's like
She was
the
like, me and Contagious were supposed to like be a team at this, and now he's just locked in eye contact with this dude and not touching his food.
I just imagine like those cheesy like 90 movies where like they give the badass like tomboy a makeover and she's trying to be all girly and flirting and do like the little playful thing, but she just hauls off and like punches the dude in the arm like okay. So to all right. So Thurl, as all of this is going on, is going to change the conversation. Let me bring up my other notes. Sorry, I've got like 20 pages of notes that I'm going back and forth between everything. So, addressing you, Jacobs. Yes, the other reason for this gathering. And he will kind of tap on the table loudly as the hushed voices die down and all eyes turn towards him, save for, fuck you, JJ. This is the worst place to have done it, too. Above the table, JJ has redeemed the sing-song.
Oh,
JJ,
we've
you're a
seen the
monster.
updates.
There is a beast, vile, winged, hungry for blood, that haunts the cliffs west of here, a manticore, fierce and cunning. I fucking hate you. Earlier, as he goes into like tap dancing and jazz hands, because fuck me, right? You had asked how you might prove yourselves. I tell you now, the sky does not recognize words, only deeds. As he falls to a knee, and all the other knights like start doing the ha-cha-cha-chas
Of the table.
behind him. Ride with us, hunt with us, show the wind your mettle, and let the valley sing of your courage. I fucking hate you. I'm like so red right now. I can feel my face getting hot.
It's so good.
At this point, arms go out, fingers begin to like wriggle and writhe in the air as he like can kicks. Glory to those who dare the skies and triumph over beasts and storms. At this point, it's like very much like Robin Hood Men in Tights as like all of the knights like slide back. You hear the brrr of their chairs on the fucking stone floors as they make a chorus line behind him and begin to can kick in the opposite direction. Kind of repeating and emphasizing every other word. So, glory, triumph, beast and storms.
This is so good. I'm searching all the gifts.
I don't even want to look. You can mount our feathered friends, and take off into the skies with us to help hunt down this manticore. And now the stylization switches more to Chicago as the lights magically dim. And suddenly they're all in like bustiers and fishnets under their armor.
Whoa.
You know, this I did not ask for this. This is this is where we are. This is
Camp Rock.
And as you know, their pop six squish Cicero lipshissing and all that stuff, Thurl in his Frankenfurter heels begins to like heel toe tap towards the table, stepping up dramatically onto the chair, and then dramatically stepping up onto the table, kind of kicking. And of course, this doesn't actually all happen. There's not going to be a giant mess over any of you guys. This is just where we are, and my dignity is I don't even know where it's at now. Yes, only their thongers. Oh my god, these frogs are busting it wide open. He says, I propose a hunt. Do you want to prove your worth? As he drops to a knee, breathing heavily and fingers still kind of like writhing in the air behind him, as all of the other Feather Gale Knights like thrust open their capes that kind of now are capes of billowing that just kind of flap flamboyantly and majestically. Yeah, do you guys want to go on a manticore hunt?
Do we get to sleep first?
No! We ride tonight.
No. But thank you. We have been up for rocking on over 48 hours now. Don't know if you can tell, but these are not supposed to be here.
Yeah, I didn't think your bags were designer.
They are, but I don't carry them usually.
Well, if you choose not to partake in the hunts, I definitely can understand
You
that.
can't delay it for 8 hours.
No.
I know at least a couple of us would be very interesting in attending. And besides, I would love to have a sit down with Lady Sarva and reminisce for a few minutes.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion for me. In just a second, Jen.
You have advantage. You're welcome.
Oh, motherfucker. Look. How do I...
You'll hit the ADV at the bottom left.
Okay. And then roll it.
Guidance.
Are you... Oh!
You're welcome.
You were not any... Oh, you were right next to me to do the thing, so it's...
I want you to get up.
Awen's not next to you. Awen's on the other side.
My computer froze.
Yeah, Awen's on the opposite side of the table from you.
It was Godfrey who said guidance.
Yeah, Godry said guidance.
Oh, Godry did? Oh, okay.
And my computer's frozen.
Oh. Rick
That's unfortunate.
Rick will also kind of sing a little bardic inspiration Jacos's way.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, he can add a whatever D6. Yeah, D6.
Yeah, and it is a high DC, so.
I think that says 2 or 4. The Fantasy Grins is literally frozen for me, so if somebody wants
It's
to...
a 2, so that's a 20.
Will it let me?
I'll roll.
Oh, I can pick up dice again. Hold on.
There we go. You see
Get
the
that
two.
one out of the way.
A 23.
25. The D4 was from guidance, and then the D6 was from.
Yep, so it was an 18 plus the 2 plus.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Yeah, so a total of 23. You are good. One more contagious, actually. Thurl kind of sits back. I told you it was a high DC. And looks at you as he takes off his fishnets and Frankenfurter heals and starts to put his regular clothes back on. All of the other Feathergale knights.
What a wild thing to say out loud.
I did not ask for this. You guys, you asked for this indirectly.
No.
Indirectly.
You guys, there's one guy.
Nobody advised against it. Guilty by association.
Held hostage.
It is quite unfortunate that you were not well rested. Though sleeping in the woods that are not meant to host sleepovers is known to do that from time to time. While I respect... Go ahead. While I respect your decision
Nico
to...
swears Aelin into his mind, like, do not.
While I respect your decision to not participate in the hunt, unfortunately, we will not postpone the...
Well, okay, hold on. I, in fact, do not speak for my group. Can we have a minute outside to discuss it amongst ourselves, knowing we will not get sleep?
Absolutely. And then Jen, at this point, is this you would want to ask about speaking with Lady Sarva, correct?
Yes. Jacos would like, not alone with her, but like off to the side, her and I'll bring Jin with me.
Okay. And I know Jen was asking about it as well. Was there anything that you would say specifically, Jen, to work in tandem?
Maybe like once the sorry. Nope, go.
Go for it. Okay. I guess like all he would say is if permission allows it, could we speak with the lady by the roof? Mainly just to clear up some questions. Nothing too severe. If you need to have someone there, I understand completely.
Yeah, just compare some notes.
He looks to Lady Sarva. I see no reason should she be willing to converse with you. You can speak in the solarium, or I can offer you my apartment for some privacy. If you're wanting a more private conversation, the top of the spire would not provide that for you.
Whatever you are willing to offer would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Of course. Milady, as he tips his fedora. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. You gotta tip the fedora when you milady.
Oh, princess!
Nope.
I'm
I
sorry.
would be more than happy to continue comparing notes. Anything that I can do to help all of you, as she looks to you guys and Thurl, put an end to their activity, I'd be more than happy to do.
Awen hasn't incited Sarva yet. I know she's from across the table, but can she try to that look to Thurl, was it like a, you know, can I, like, not asking for permission, but you know.
Yeah, go ahead and
Was it
insight.
asking for permission, or was it like a nod of respect? Like, this person is higher than me and has saved me. Can I join in on that?
Absolutely. If anyone who wants to insight can absolutely. You guys are wild with these gifts. Oh my god.
Do we want to each roll individually, or okay?
I will be also rolling to see if it's a look of like relief to almost be out of his presence.
Okay.
I guess the fuck not.
Hold on. Again? I cannot. Hold on. I'm back in the fucking building.
God, I quote that so much.
Okay. Godry, there's no sense of relief as she looks to Thurl. What you're picking up is her wanting to help everybody, put an end to the cult activity. Awen and Jacobs. And Awen, you would pick up on this a little bit more. The look seems more reassuring than anything. Almost as though she's trying to convince him that she's wanting to help everyone. She's trying to make sure that he's included in this and that it's not specifically just you guys. Does that make sense? And I think Awen, with your 22, it's not the sense that she is like hiding anything for him. 25, because you did guidance. So it's not the sense that she's like covering for him or protecting him, but more like she's not trying to give anything away to him. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Contagious, to answer your question, not really. He's a little winded from the dance routine. He hasn't been practicing that as much as he should, so his cardio and all that's not where it should be. But he's almost amused by the hesitancy to jump on the chance to participate in this manticore hunt. Almost like, yeah, you guys are a bunch of pussies. I knew you did not have what it took. You know, calm this storm. Calm this storm, as he like grabs his nuts. Hi, babe. So
do we want to have the, so sorry, I know we're coming up on the end. Do we want to have are we gonna do this manticore fight in the Kiki this week? That was to everyone.
I'm down for whatever.
If we're gonna manticore hunt, we can also, I don't mind doing it, like in session.
I think they mean like the conversation about if we're going to participate in it or not.
We're going to go another night, risk exhaustion, and go on this manticore hunt.
Yep.
Mainly to shove it in what's his name's face.
We're in a really unfortunate position.
Anyway,
because I'm. Yeah.
Do we have a hard cutoff of 12:30 tonight?
Huh?
Do we have a hard cutoff of 12:30 tonight?
No, not for me at least.
Is there a little wiggle room? I know, Cassie.
Yeah.
Little okay.
It was just the 3 a.m. that was killing me.
Yeah, same. I was able to do it when we were doing it regularly. I mean, it fucked up my sleep for the rest of the week, and then I'd get back on track just to do it all over again. But doing it like out of sequence, it really fucked me up. But yeah, we can go a little bit more. We'll start with the conversation with Lady Sarva. and then dependent on how much time that takes, we can transition over to the group huddle to converse. 10 over. Okay, so we'll cut off by 12:40 at the latest. I got a message, so we'll have that as the hard cutoff, if not before that. So we'll focus on the conversation with Lady Sarva. Rick, before I forget, as you have skipped the meal and been perusing the room, performing and listening in all night, you suffer 1 level of exhaustion. Sorry. That was the con save at the beginning of the session. But before I forget to tell you, I don't want to come into the next session and be like, oh, by the way, just in case that kind of changes anything for the campfire conversation. So, Jen, Jacobs, Lady Sarva has agreed to have a conversation with you guys. You guys know that the solarium is available, or you guys can move up to Thurl's apartment should you choose to converse privately there instead.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Is this happening like during the meal or like afterwards?
This is like towards the end, so like a lot of the conversation, like with Lady Sarva talking, and then the conversation about the hunt and everything was taking place while you guys were eating. And then all the little stuff in between. So, I mean, people are still eating, but it's kind of slowing down right now.
Even if we don't get to it tonight, I think Awen would also try to strike a conversation with Jonathan.
Okay. Okay. Making note of that. Who
So-
all... Oh, go ahead.
So hold on. How often do you roll for exhaustion from not eating?
Well, it's a compilation of things. Not only are you not eating, but you've been performing for the meal and stuff. So, because you are going on no sleep for over 24 hours, you've not eaten during today, you've not sat down to eat and rest while everybody else is sitting and eating, you're moving around the room performing.
Okay, because my thought process was I was gonna eat after I was like done.
Oh, because it came across like you were not eating at all.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Let me double check something that may potentially change things.
Because even if I didn't get food from them, I still have rations in my inventory.
Yeah, but my thought process is that this is almost 48 hours since you guys have long rested at this point, as you guys are at dinner time, and you haven't sat down to have a meal and eat while you've been perusing. Does that make sense?
Okay. I'm cool with that.
Okay. Let me just double check. Yeah, because performing, even though it's not like you're not like doing a whole song and dance number where you're like parading and jumping and stuff around the room, it could be considered strenuous activity, especially if you're like mentally listening in and stuff like that, you know, kind of not like stretching yourself extremely thin, but definitely pushing the boundaries a bit. And if it helps at all, I only raised the DC 2 instead of 5 for that second roll. Trying to balance it so it was more fair. Okay. Who all, is anybody else going to be going with Jen and Jacobs to have this conversation with Lady Sarva? Or is everybody else
I will.
going to? Okay.
Yeah, if I see them getting up to leave, I'll join them. Before I do, though,
Enormous men ganging up on this woman.
Welcome to the casting couch. Oh, that's inappropriate.
God damn it. Yep, definitely not this session.
No.
I will, before that happens, though, I want to just kind of like, Contagious, you know, not really realizing how zoned out he's been, will just like very suddenly turn to Awen and start talking as if nothing, you know, like it's just nothing. And just be like, I understand if the group doesn't want to go on the hunt with everything that's happened. That's makes a lot of sense. I will be going regardless. And then I'll just get up and leave with them.
I think Awen opens her mouth to say something, and then he gets up and she's like, okay.
Yeah, he's not really like
And I walk away.
conscious of his
Talking
like
to her.
social demeanor right now and doesn't realize if he's being weird or rude or anything. He's just kind of acting, just getting from one moment to the next at this point.
Is anybody else going, or just the three of you?
Now I'm scared about her feeling cornered by the men, but I think Awen would try to use this opportunity to talk to Jonathan.
Okay.
Audrey would go talk to Thurl.
Okay. Rick, at this point, are you sitting down to eat? Are you going to converse with anybody?
You can take
What are-
whatever's on Contagious's plate. He hasn't touched it.
That's true.
Well, and they would have extra food as well too.
Can we get a to-go box?
My spaghetti's cold.
Mom's spaghetti.
You have a microwave?
I like to imagine at one point while Contagious was just staring off, he had like fork and knife and was just like mimicking the action, but it was like 6 inches away from the plate. Like he didn't realize.
He's just cutting into the table.
Cuts through the plate. It's that awful sound of forks on china.
Oh god, I hate it.
No.
I think the solarium would be best because it's a fairly open space that we could like maybe keep an eye out of, like people trying to look in, listen in, instead of like fucking room with the door shut.
Rick, are you going with anyone in the group? Are you?
No, I'll stay in the main room.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. So heading down to the solarium. Go ahead and give me perception checks, please. The three of you. Okay. You are fairly confident that nobody has followed after you. Nobody's come downstairs to go and, you know, pretend to work elsewhere in the lower level. In fact, let me I'll share this map just so you guys can see. And we'll put a party token on here. Party. No, I don't want to move the whole fucking thing. I just want the token. Here we go. Oh, Malanta. Okay, can you guys all see that?
No, but that's D&D.
Okay. You hear some movement in the kitchen, you know, dishes being cleared and washed. but nobody comes in or out of it. Are you guys going to leave the door to the solarium open or closed?
Probably closed.
Closing.
Yeah, closed with hush voices from us.
Okay, beautiful. So you, the three of you with Lady Sarva, are now down in the solarium. I apologize if I seem uncertain about things. I'm still trying to make sense of everything here. Though I do, as she looks to you, Jin, appreciate your concern and you check in to ensure that everything is okay. Go ahead, Jacobs.
We're probably in the same boat. Long-ish story short, we followed who we thought were cultists out of Red Larch, and it led us here. And we don't know who to trust right now. We don't know if sorry to be frank with you. We don't know who to trust. We don't know if someone is colluding with another or if everyone's an enemy, so on and so forth.
I believe you're quite right to not know who to trust. I don't.
You are echoing like crazy.
It's through Cass's mic.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like, I can undo my dongle.
It's all good.
I do believe that you're quite right to not know who to trust in this situation. I'm not sure that these knights are all what they pretend to be. I've seen things. Air magic, masked visitors, and birds that seem to understand speech. Did you not find it
Birds,
strange
huh? Sorry.
that did you not find it strange that when you specifically asked to speak at the top of the spire, you were led elsewhere?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to hook up my headphones.
Now that you mention it, I do.
What was that, Jen?
No, he would say, I might have an answer as to why they don't want us up there. I came across a note. I'm trying to find it. Where the hell is it? Hold on. Baldur's Gate is playing music and I don't want that. Where is it? There it is. I assumed that they might be meeting on the roof, but it wasn't exactly detailed. Jonathan was wanting to meet Birovska. Is that the name?
Yeah, that's Beryl.
Yes. Does the note say what their meeting is about?
Just that they're meeting after the feast. Nothing detailed.
About Arethes, about the letter.
Yeah, I was like,
If you wish to disclose that.
if he doesn't, I will. I'll mention that it was in reference to another letter from an Arisi.
Aw, shit.
I've heard mention of that name, but I'm not sure of the significance of who or what Arisi is. And she kind of scans your faces, looking for any hints or giveaways to what it may be.
She called herself a queen.
Queens and prophets, or self-proclaimed.
Doesn't end up that way, doesn't it?
Oh. You guys should ask more about the prophet.
Get out of here, bird.
There's a pigeon that smashes into the window
Meta pigeon
outside.
into
The window.
And it just thunks and slides down.
At this point, I'm gonna look at Jin and Jacos and just say, sorry, I have to get back to the feast room, but you guys have this handled. I'll check back in with you later and I'll leave.
Just watch yourselves. Like I said, I don't believe these knights are who they say they are, and if there's this much cult activity going on, it wouldn't surprise me if there was some here as well. There's, as I've said, been air magic, but there have also been strange weather patternings. Large gusts of winds. Oh, sneaky little snake.
I'm a snake.
Thurl believes that his knights rescued me from the cultists, but I'm under the impression that I do not have the freedom to leave here if I were to choose to do so.
Or did she say she can leave or she can't?
She's under the impression that she cannot.
Is there a safe house that might be nearby for you? Anywhere that you can hide away if we could get you there?
Not anything in close vicinity to here. Unfortunately, I'm not incredibly familiar with the Sighing Valley or Sumber Hills. But if the rumors that I'd heard from the others and the cells is accurate, a lot of the areas in the Sumber Hills are... Oh my god, what's the word? Not complicated.
Complex.
Oh, I know what you're...
I want to say it's confiscated and compromised is the word that she did not hesitate at all to end her sentence with.
The DM says so shall it be.
No.
We could get you out of here, but finding a place where they can find you is the more difficult part.
Yeah, we are so far from our own resources. We're treading water at it, as is.
If you were able to get me out of here, I do have connections in Golden Fields. I have a few in Beliard as well. I had some in Red Lodge, but it sounds as though their reaches are already there.
What's their security like later on in the night? Is there some shifts that go on? Anything that you've noticed?
They take watch in shifts. Usually there are at least 4 guards at any given time. I believe most of them patrol from the top. Occasionally they'll have mounted knights surveying the area. Though with the Manticore hunt tonight, there may be some wiggle room. I don't know exactly what the plans for that are, but if they're preoccupied with that, it could allow for an escape.
Maybe we take that opportunity to get you out of here then.
Get us all out of here, maybe.
I do have a means of concealing us a little more, but we would all have to be together.
Once you have an idea of what you would like to do and when, let me know, and I'll do what I can to be there.
Which room are you staying in?
I've been staying in Thurl's apartment. There's another bed there that he allows me to sleep in, though I believe it's so that he can keep a closer eye on me.
But not if he's on the hunt.
Room?
Green.
Alright.
We'll call on you. My lady, we'll call on you with our decision.
Thank you.
It will be a group one.
Thank you. And even if it's not tonight, if you are able to get me out of here, I would be forever indebted to you. I'm not sure what it is that's going on here, but something in my bones tells me that it's nothing good.
Yeah, we got into this place way too quick.
We will find a way to get you out. Worry not. As well as all of us.
Thank you.
We'll escort her back upstairs.
Okay. I think here is a good place to put a pin in things. Let me just make this last minute note. Since we have, ooh, I just dropped that in my coffee, that's great. Since we have the 12:40 cut off, and when we come back next week, we will pick up with the conversations with Jonathan and Thurl, as well as what you had messaged me about. If you know, you know. I will not go any further than that. We can use not the trenches, I'm not there, use the campfire for conversations to discuss whether you are going to participate in the hunt or not. Contagious has made it known, at least to Awen, that one way or another he's going to find you, and he is going to
get you.
Yes, that he will be going on the hunt. Is there anything else that any of you would like me to make note of? For anything else you would like to be doing while the conversation in the solarium is taking place?
I don't think so.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, when you said for the conversation with Thrall next session, were you mentioning like conversation with the party with Thrall, or when
Godry
talks to Thrall?
Godry.
Okay.
And then if you guys want to do some of that in the campfire, we can create separate threads for the conversation with Thurl and Godry, and one for Awen with Jonathan, and then have a third
I was gonna
thread.
say, that would work with me.
Yeah, because then we can do a lot of that throughout the week, and then kind of pick up and hit the ground running, or hit the ground resting, or hit the ground breaking out.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah.
For those of you that were watching my stream, thank you guys so much for the support. As always, it's greatly appreciated. We
I know
will.
the audio is not on, but bye, Brandon.
Bye. Yeah, we'll be back next
Bye-bye.
Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So hold on to your butts till then. Bye.
Bye.